No, I'm good. I just
questions.
I just had a couple things.
No, that's fine. And what the beauty of it is watching these guys with the fact that you're both huge Breaking Bad fans. And these guys would come in and I'd be, I think for me, the reason I didn't watch it is because I just felt like it was sad. And I feared, you ever one of those movies where they're going down the road, they're going down the road, it's not going to be good, and you're like, don't do that. Yeah. I kind of struggle with those, yet my kids keep saying, no, you are going to get hooked on this thing. You're going to have to.
You're right, though.
It is a bad journey, and that's what they wanted to show you.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, that's real. There's a real
I'd go up to people that didn't watch it, and they'd say, how could you do a show that glamorizes this, right? And I go,
I don't think
glamorizes it? I go, obviously you don't watch the show.
Right.
There's no glamour here.
It's like an extended, Shakespeare tragedy.
Yeah,
it really is. And
is.
You talked about the writers, and that's what it was. It was so well written that there was beauty
scare
in it.
kids. I mean, this is something that kids will go, yeah, that is not what I'm going to choose.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
But can you see how just the overall, you watch the trailer and how someone like me would be like, I can't be depressed about this.
Well, it's funny. My mother, she I don't know what season it was. She called me. She goes, son, I can't watch it anymore. I'm stressed out. I'm over this. I'm over the top stressed out. I just, my heart's broken. And I can't watch it. I said, Mom, don't watch it. You shouldn't. If that's how you feel, please don't watch it.
Well, there is an element of that in America. At least I'm not sure where we are today because it's crazy upside down today. But you remember the old, for instance, when MASH had their finale and it ended. We want things to end nicely, and this was just one that I knew this ain't going to end good.
Yeah. Well, then my mom would call me on Monday and go, did you see what happened? And I go, Mother, I thought we decided you weren't going to watch that anymore.
So you can't put it down. He just told our boss, Karen Carey, she said, I'm going to start watching. And your answer to her was...
Please show up to work.
Show up to work.
Please go to work.
Please. And the idea is she's going to be so compelled to...
Yeah. It's as addicting as the subject matter, really.
I mean, that's what's terrible about it.
I got to do a couple quick things that we'll continue here. And if anybody has any questions, it's 315-736-0186. In studio is Stephen Michael Quezeda, who played on the Breaking Bad series as DEA Agent Gomez. It's a Utica thing, and Charlie's Pizza. Listen, if you're looking for a gift that's perfect for the holidays, this is perfect for the holidays. They have gift baskets. Utica-style gift baskets from their pastas and sauces and all sorts of in-betweens. It's no better way to say this is Utica than one of these gift baskets. You can purchase them at any Charlie's Pizza, or you can go online, ship them anywhere in the country. Go to Charlie's in the, we're in Washington Mills, Charlie's in North Utica, and in Whitesboro. So gift baskets, plus they have a special for catering. You have a party coming up. Buy a full tray of pasta, get a second full tray at half price. Gift cards, $25, get $5 free, and the list goes on. It's all at Charlie's Pizza, perfect spot for shopping this holiday season in Whitesboro, Washington Mills, and in North Utica. And in studio, as we said, is the one and only Stephen Michael Quezeda, played in Breaking Bad, will be tonight over at the Yanandasis, sponsored by Arthritis Specialists. I want to ask you, so New Mexico, you say, and this is something we talked about way earlier, so be worth telling people again about this. Your family has been basically in the same area for 350 years. Yeah. So without getting into politics, because we are so polarized, I do want to ask you, as a Mexican American, been a lot of talk about Mexicans over the course of the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's tough to be a Mexican.
How does that make you feel? Right? I mean, how do you feel?
I mean, it's kind of, it hurts your feelings a little bit. You know, my father served in World War II, Korea, and 2 terms of Vietnam.
Wow!
And to hear things like that, you think, wow, there ain't nothing. America, and even if you look at Mexico, they're a Democrat. They're Democratic.
I know.
They're not very good at it. They're poor, obviously. Yeah. And they're not they're not doing it right. And is it broken? Of course it's broken. And we want to be able to be a part of the fixing of it.
Sure.
But we don't know if separating families and doing stuff like that is really the way. As a comedian, you know, I make fun of the wall. I go, well, in New Mexico, we stopped building walls. We're building ladders. Because we're entrepreneurs, you know.
That is funny.
It's like, you know, we can dig a tunnel. You guys saw El Chapo, right? You know, he got out of prison, you know. So it's broken. It needs to be fixed. So do I agree with the president on it's broken? It needs to be fixed. Of course I do.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna dispute that fact.
Right.
It's how we fix it is where we have to start coming to a compromise. And I believe that eventually we will. I'm not feeling too bad. You know, I mean, I make light of it, but you know, we know what our purpose is and what we've served. And you know, like I said earlier, you know, when the guy told me, go back to where you came from, I go, ta-da! You know, it was the greatest moment for me to do that. And he was mad. Yeah. And this really happened. He was upset. I was on a cruise ship, and he was really upset, you know. And then the next day I saw him, and I said, hey, can I talk? You know, would you be willing to talk to me for like 5 minutes? And he was really upset, and I said, you know, look. So
he's upset about.
He's upset that I'm in his country.
In his country.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough to hear.
It is.
Yeah, you didn't punch him.
No. I told him, you know, I gave him my family history and how long, and showed him pictures of the land where I come from and stuff, and even though he didn't really want to hear it and didn't want to, you know, I think maybe inside himself he was like, well, maybe we need to relook at what, you know, who was here. In my comedy routine, I go, you came to this continent and started a new country, and now you're worried there's brown people here. I go, it's sort of like going to China and going, wow, there's a lot of Chinese people here. You know, maybe we should build a wall. They did. It was a great wall. And that didn't work either. And so we know that doesn't work. And throughout history, it doesn't work. That we're all immigrants. Even me, you know, at 400 years ago, even me.
Yeah, you've only been here 350 years.
And I want everybody here. I think we're the greatest country because of it.
Yeah.
And we need to fix it. And that's all.
All right. I'm glad I asked you that question.
Did he give you 5 minutes, by the way, that guy on the boat?
He did. And I showed him pictures and stuff. And even though he didn't really want to see it, and he would, you know, force himself to look at my phone, you know, he has to come to a realization that, you know, America isn't a color.
Yeah.
It's just not.
You do have to wonder, though, how it certainly is telling of a person if he could even say that to you.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what, say you were from, you were an immigrant. It takes a lot to walk up to somebody and say such a thing.
To have that in you, that you've been carrying that
You've
around.
been carrying that, and you were inspired to have the gall to walk up to a human being and say that. It's pretty telling, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Keith, the paper guy, has a question. Go ahead, Keith. You're on.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Bill. Question and a statement. The statement first, you got to get Steve out for some Utica greens.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have our own brand of food here, which is Italian, but there's some interesting dishes here.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you get to try some of that stuff. Okay, all right.
And my question is, what star or what TV or movie starred the biggest one you ever met, and what was it like?
The biggest one I ever met was Conan O'Brien. He's huge. His head looks like a balloon.
Yeah.
From Macy's Day Parade. He could just walk down Macy's Day Parade, and they would think it was a float.
Right.
But
hey, it's the Conan O'Brien float. Yeah. Look at that.
Realistically,
signing autographs.
Can I say one thing? You're not. You're not a tall guy.
No, I'm not.
And nor am I. And when Conan O'Brien first started, I don't know if you remember, it was awful. The show was horrible. He started at NBC. And we were down, and I got to meet him. I got my picture taken with him. And I think it's the picture is Conan, we're by the desk, and then my head. Because he's so tall.
Huge, man.
He's an enormous man.
He is. You don't realize how big he is until you see him in person.
Yeah, and then God forbid you stand next to him.
Oh, yeah. And then you're a dwarf, right? And then someone's trying to cast you in the next Wizard of Oz. And you're like, hey, I'm really not that short.
Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of meeting a whole bunch of great stars, you know, because of our Emmy nominations. So we're at the red carpet, and we meet a bunch of them, and, you know, they're all great people. The good news is most actors are around my size, around 5'7" you know.
Right.
I think the biggest star for me is still Bryan Cranston, just because, you know, he's really skyrocketed and he's so talented. People are really starting to look at how talented.
Oh, his
Bryan
portrayal
Cranston
of Johnson.
Oh, LBJ. I went and saw him in New York. Did you see him?
No.
If he ever does that again, you have to go see the play. It's
So
he's a monster.
I think I didn't realize how talented he was.
No, nobody did.
Well, yeah, because he
Until
did that
Breaking Bad.
sitcom. He did that.
He was
sitcom,
the goofy dad, and that's all he was going to be.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Until Breaking Bad, and that changed his life.
Yeah.
And notice every time he won an award, he goes, "I'm taking this back to New Mexico," and he'd always give New Mexico.
Yeah.
And he still has a home in New Mexico. He loves New Mexico because that's where his life changed.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that was life changing for him and for all of us.
Yeah.
So if I can,
thanks, Keith. That answers your question, I hope.
Yes, sir. Guys.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Andrew.
I wanted to ask you to piggyback on Keith's question. You probably met a lot of big celebrities, but how does it feel like to them to say, and I know they said this, I'm a huge fan of your show. What is that like?
It was crazy. I was doing Spare Parts, George Lopez's movie about the kids from Arizona that get into the underwater robotics competition.
Yeah.
They beat all the universities and stuff, and they're immigrant kids. Right. It's a great story, and he has Jamie Lee Curtis and Marissa Tomei and Isai Morales and him and me, and I'm so I play the recruiter, the military guy, and I'm on set, and I come out of my trailer, and Jamie Lee Curtis comes out of her trailer. It's the first time I see Jamie Lee Curtis, and I'm like starstruck, right? I'm like, oh. I mean, that's Hollywood royalty.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're my age, you know her father, you know where she comes from, all of it, right? And
Hollywood royalty. There's no other way
and
to
I'm like,
describe it.
whoa, and I kind of gasp a little bit and see her, and she turns and looks at me. She goes, oh, and I go, oh no. She goes, what? I go, don't you go there, right? She goes, oh. But Steven, I'm such a huge fan. I go, you weren't supposed to say that.
That's my line.
You can't do that. I did one TV show.
Yeah.
Right? You've done it all. You can't do that.
Wow.
She goes, no, Steven, she goes, Gomez. I loved Gomez.
That is so cool.
And you're just like, wow, this is just, who am I?
Yeah.
You're pinching yourself because you just never thought that a kid from a poor neighborhood would be standing there and hearing that. Right. When me and my wife got on the red carpet for the first time, we stepped out of the limo and we both started crying like babies.
Really?
Because, my wife, she didn't even graduate from high school. She got a GED and worked hard and worked her way up. And now she's just brilliant, hard-working, beautiful woman, And it wasn't easy. And my journey wasn't easy. And she was the backbone for both of us.
Right,
so
right.
when we got there, we were just like, how did this happen for us? And and the answer was simple. We believed and we worked really hard. We realized that dreaming happens with your eyes wide open.
Yeah. Boy, that's a great story. You're an inspiration, I got to tell you. And you're really the American dream. This is the American dream, that you work hard, you try, and you get the break that you need and you make it happen.
You do.
That is really cool. We'll finish up. I really hope people come out this afternoon, 5 till 7 o'clock at the Yanandasas. It's free and open to the public. And it's really, I appreciate the fact that you came up here. I know you don't do a lot of the traveling, but this is a toy drive, and I know that Roger told you that, why we have you coming up here.
These kids are important to me no matter where they're at.
Pretty cool. So please come out today, and we really will appreciate it. 5 till 7 at the Yanandasas.